welcome back to my channel. My name is Flower Petals, and today we're going to be talking about Boys Planet. I know everyone is talking about Boys Planet, but if you are living under a rock or something, or you're just not really into survival shows or anything like that, you may be wondering, what the hell is Boys Planet? Well, Boys Planet is basically the boy version of Girls Planet, which is technically like the new version, quote unquote, of the Produce series. Now, we all know that the Produce series had its own little scandal about the rigged votes in Produce 48 and Produce X101, and maybe even going further, but we don't know that for sure. Now, it's basically the same thing. The Planet series is the same thing as the Produce series, it just has like a different concept. But overall, same thing. I consider them the exact same thing. However, this is Boys Planet, what we're talking about. It's a kind of the boy version of what we would get for Kepler's survival show. Now, I want to talk about who I think will be in the top 9 by the end. Now, I wanted to do this video after the first elimination and going close to the second elimination because I really wanted to see the potential of the idols that are popular and the potential that we may see come up. Now, I know this may be controversial because everyone has their own picks, everyone's choosing their own thing. However, this top 9 is what I think mathematically makes sense, and based off of the newest episodes that are coming out now, I feel like this is gonna work the most. Now, I know this would make more sense if I waited till the second elimination to do, because then a lot of picks would be out and I would have a more clear demographic to go off of, but I'd rather just do it now because this is just kind of like my fun first pick, and then I'll really go in depth in everything later on. So let's just get started. So who do I think will be in the top 9 of Bepler, aka Boys Kepler? So I 100% believe that in first place, Sung Han Bin will for sure stay first and will debut first, and I feel like that will literally be history. He will be like the main guy to be first from the beginning of the show till the ending. Now, I 100% believe he will be first. Everyone loves him, everyone cares about him, and everyone is rooting for him. He's getting the biggest angel edit of a lifetime and by Mnet, so I 100% believe that he is the main character of the show. He had the signal song, he was the center of it, he was the center for the first mission, and he was considered the center for the second mission. As I'm doing it right now, this video, the episode for part 2 of the second mission has not come out yet, so I don't know if he stayed the center, but I don't think he did because Gunwook was seen wearing a different color than the other guys in the group, and that's usually a sign that they're the center. So he's been the center for a lot of songs. He's been the center for obviously the main song, and he's always been the main person. So he is for sure my number 1 contender in staying first place. In second place, Han Yoo-jin. Now, Yoo-jin, I 100% believe will stay second place because he has just always been in the top 2. If we really think about it, he's always been in the top 2, was always up there, was always like alongside Hanbin. He's always been kind of like the competitor. And he has that really big underdog story that we see a lot with almost every Produce survival show. He just has that underdog storyline that he was not that great in the beginning, but oh my god, look at his potential, look how he grew. I 100% believe he will stay in second place. Now, third place, Kim Ji-won. Listen, hear me out, he may be my pick and I'm being biased, but I 100% believe that he will stay third. He has not left the top 3 spot. After the episode just came out, which is part 1 of the second mission, he was kind of dropping a little bit in the ranks, but he has never left third place or even in the top 9. I 100% believe he will stay in third place. He's getting that kind of like sexy edit vibe, like he's very charming, he has these visuals, he's amazing, all that stuff. Like he's getting that kind of edit by Mnet, and I 100% believe that he will continue to stay in third place since he's never left third place. Fourth place, hear me out. You may be like, oh, I think he'd be lower in the ranks, or maybe he'd be higher. Matthew. I know a lot of people are probably going to fight me about this, but Sok Matthew would be in 4th place. Now, you may be wondering, why in 4th place? Like, what? Wouldn't he be higher? Wouldn't he be lower? Second place in the first elimination. Yeah, no. I don't think he will get higher than 4th he's gonna stay in 4th place because the only reason he got 2nd place in the first elimination ranking was because of the benefit that he won with Mnet and with the first mission. He won in his mission and got the bonus points, and that bonus points bumped him up to 2nd place. If it wasn't for the bonus points, he probably would have been lower in ranking. Now, this is why I believe he'll be in 4th place. He has a very strong pick in Korea, a very one pick, and a very strong pick internationally, especially in his home country of Canada. However, I don't think it will be strong enough for him to get 2nd or 3rd place because he is kind of riding on the storyline of him and Hanbin are best friends and they need to be together and they need to debut together. That's kind of the reason why he's been extremely popular, because of his whole thing with Hanbin. It hasn't really been anything else. His storyline is that he's a good dancer, he's a good singer, but his storyline with Hanbin, his best friend, that's his thing. That's his theme. That's why everyone is rooting for him in Korea, because they're together, they're best friends. So I think that he will get 4th place because of his strong pick and because of his storyline. However, I don't think his one pick will be strong enough to get him 2nd or 3rd, since he needed the bonus points mathematically to get that 2nd spot. Now, 5th place, I believe will be Zhang Xiao. Zhang Xiao has ranked 5th place as of the first elimination, and I think he will probably stay 5th place. Hear me out. He has a very strong one pick internationally, but in Korea, his one pick isn't that big. He doesn't have that strong fan base to really get him into the higher rankings. And I think 5th place will be a very consistent place for him and he will stick there. So 6th place, we're gonna move on to Kim Gyu-vin. I 100% believe that he will stay in 6th place because he has been dropping from the rankings. He's always been in the ranks like higher up and he has been dropping as of recently, but I feel like he will stay in 6th place since he has been there for the first elimination. I think he will stay in 6th place since he is really well known, he is really well liked, and his fan base is not super strong, but it's also not the worst. Now, 7th place, hear me out. I think it's going to be an underdog rookie, but mathematically wise, I was thinking it could be Hanbin, Taeray, or Songhan, or Juhyun, one of those. Maybe Haruto, maybe Sowon, Ali, who knows. I was thinking Chen QG. It could be Wumuti, it could be any of these. However, mathematically wise and logically thinking and without being biased, I believe Taeray, Kim Taeray would be in 7th place because he has a very strong fan base already. He had a very strong fan base going into the show. But he's got an even bigger one-pick fan base in Korea and internationally. However, we know this would work mathematically because he has peaked in the top 9 before. As of the last episode and as the episode that's obviously come out as I'm recording this and the levels that we got the rankings, he was 9th. So I wouldn't be surprised if his rank goes up to 7th place and he ends up becoming part of the lineup. 8th place, I believe, will be Jay. Hear me out. Jay gives me Hyuning Bahi. I'm sorry if I said her name wrong, but he gives me Hyuning Bahi vibes. Hyuning Bahi, no one expected her to rank up high. Everyone knew that she was going to debut, but no one expected her to really be 2nd place. That was a shock to people. I feel like the same thing will happen to Jay. Jay will go up to 8th. He's been in 9th and he's been constantly in 9th because he doesn't have that really big fan base in Korea. But globally, this man is the strongest contender. And I 100% believe he will consistently rank up and his votes will go and lead him a spot in 8th place because that's what Mnet is looking for. He is the guy that Mnet really wants because they are trying to achieve as much global success as they can. So they will do anything, especially having Jay be in a top contender lineup. He will stay there as much as Mnet wants him to stay there in order for him to really give off the Hyuning Bahi vibe where they became big internationally because of Moa. Same thing will happen because of his fan base that he had with Bongham and being kind of like a K-pop influencer almost. He will have that fan base to back him up and back up this new group that Mnet really wants to succeed. But I feel like he will receive the Hyuning Bahi treatment where he won't get a lot of lines and he won't be appreciated. But he is a really good vocalist, so I'm really hoping that that doesn't happen to him. Now, number 9. I may just be biased. You may just want to smack me across the face because I just said that. But I believe that Park Gunwook would take the number 9th spot. And a lot of you are probably like, what do you mean? Why would he take the number 9 spot? That makes no sense. Like, what are you talking about? He will take the number 9th spot because mathematically wise, I was thinking about what he would take. I was thinking it was between Hui, or aka Lee Hyo-taek, or Gunwook, and I was thinking mathematically it works that it's Gunwook. Listen, hear me out. Lee Hyo-taek has been dropping from the ranks significantly. He was number 7, which if you even looked at the first elimination, you could see Lee Hyo-taek being like, what? Like, he was genuinely like in shock that he was 7. And a lot of trainees were in shock that he was 7. People thought that he would rank higher, but he didn't. Also, he's dropped from the rankings already. As of the last episode, we saw in the rankings that he dropped from number 7 to 10. He dropped almost 3 spots down. That physically can't happen unless his fan base really wants him. And he has a huge fan base, and I personally believe at one point that he was going to get in. He was a number 1 contender. But it seems as if people don't want him in the group. And it seems as if Mnet would want him in the group. Mnet had already evil edited him in the first episodes where they were acting as if he was this stuck-up idol who wanted to be better than everyone else. And he had beef with Jay, even though there was no fucking beef. He was just sitting there, like, vibing, trying to sing his songs, trying to do good for the show, trying to show off his range. And the mentors were all like, no, you can't do that. You have to do this. Like, it was Mnet very much. Has something to do with it. I feel like because of this, a lot of evil editing will definitely affect him in the long run. And also, I feel like Mnet doesn't want him in the group. It's very obvious that Mnet doesn't really want him there because he's old already. And that has nothing to do with it. I don't know why Mnet's like that, but that's what Mnet is giving the vibe of me for. Making it seem as if they don't want him because he's too old already, which is really dumb, but whatever. A lot of people were saying, oh, he would be like Yujin, like he would rank up, like he's gonna be there, but I don't think it will have the same effect. I feel like he will be kind of like a Yuramina situation where everyone thinks he's gonna debut and then he doesn't. But going back to what I was saying with my number 9th spot being Gunwook, mathematically it works. Gunwook has been ranking 10th and 10th and 10th and 11th and 10th. It's never left the top 3 spots to go to 9th. And if what Zhang Qiao was saying for the episode that his newest performance with Tomboy was going to get him to the top 9, it makes most sense. If people genuinely vote for him and he ends up winning, which we know the Tomboy team will ends up winning that 100,000, I think, benefit, this could help Gunwook rise to rank 9 easily. And mathematically wise, it makes sense that Gunwook will probably rank in 9th and he will 100% stay there. Now to the contenders that I feel like could have debuted but won't. I already talked about Hyo-taek and how I said that it just seems like Mnet's kind of against him. Mnet would use him 100% for Pentagon fanbase. However, I feel like Mnet won't do that because Mnet kind of knows the game that Hyo-taek is playing. If you really think about it, Hui isn't there because Pentagon's not famous. Pentagon is still very well known. Pentagon is loved by their fans and they still have the passion to perform together. Pentagon is in the military right now. Hui just came back from the military. If Hui plays his cards right, he can 100% get in the group, have time to do whatever he has to do, and then immediately take the fan base that he has gotten from Bepler and go back to Pentagon with that new fan base and have amazing comebacks. Mnet, I feel like, is catching on to this idea and doesn't really want him in the group. And I feel like it's just kind of a strategy that they're like, oh, you're old already, we don't want you here, but we really want your fans. And that's kind of why he's in the show. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's going to be a Yuramina situation and people are going to think that he's going to debut, and in the end, he doesn't. Now, another contender that I feel like could have debuted but probably won't is Kieta. Listen, Kieta is in 8th, but he won't stay there for long, as I don't remember his ranking really well from the last episode's heads up notice, but I know that he was dropping like a lot. I don't think he will 100% stay in the top 9. He doesn't really have that big of a fan base in Korea to really hold him as a one pick. Internationally, it's a 50-50. I feel like he kind of has that fan base, but not quite there yet. I could be completely wrong, and my predictions may be completely wrong as well. But as of what I'm thinking right now, he won't really get in the group. However, what are my top 9? You may be wondering, who am I picking? Well, let me tell you. First place for me would be Hanbin. Second place would be Kim Ji-won. Third place, Matthew. Fourth place, Jang Hyeo. Fifth place, Park Gun-wook. Sixth place, Kieta. Seventh place, Jae. Eighth place, Haruto. Ninth place, drumroll everybody, it would be Wumuti. If I could, that would be my top 9. However, I don't think that's gonna happen. And it's kind of sad thinking that Haruto may not debut, but I feel like Haruto also has a chance of coming up. As long as his fans are really working to push him, it will work. As long as the fans really vote for him, he could get that contender spot. But mathematically wise and through the strategy wise, I feel like the top 9 that I had stated before will work the most. But that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what your Boys Planet picks are, because I really want to know, who are you rooting for? Who do you think is like the worst trainee, hands down? Who do you think is the best trainee? Personally, for me, I think the best trainee is Gun-wook, but again, I'm a biased person, so don't look at me. I 100% believe, everyone's gonna fight me for this, I know, but Jung Mingyu is so funny, and I would vote for him if he improves. I feel like he slowly is improving. I don't even know how. I can do a whole video on Mingyu by himself on how the hell he was so funny and so bad in his audition, but is somehow in some way getting way better and improving a lot. Like, I can do a whole thing on that. But to me, he's the funniest person. He is like the comedy of the show. But that is all for me for today, so I'll see you guys all later. Bye!